Hey guys, welcome back to Mixed Woodworkings. Sorry it's been a little while since I posted a video. I finally got done with my regular full-time job. This is only something I do part-time, hopefully to do full-time. But I'm off for the summer and I just been out enjoying time outdoors and taking the kids outdoors doing things. And just enjoying some time away from work. But I have been doing some custom walking sticks and some custom turnings and stuff like that. I just haven't filmed any of them. And I apologize for that. So today, hopefully, we'll go from this point on into the finished product. But anyhow, today, I also want to give a shout out to a friend of mine from Australia, Aiden Harris. I subscribe to his channel, which is Harris Homewares. I subscribed to his channel. I commented on one of his videos, and I liked the video, and I was entered to win his bowl giveaway he was doing. He's a new channel. So if you would, you guys go over and give him some love. He does awesome, beautiful work. I'll put the link in below and the name of his channel in the description below. But if you guys would go check him out, I sure appreciate it. I know he would. But here's the bowl he sent me. Free charge, clear from Australia. Now this bowl is called Purple Acacia or Purple Dead Finish. And as what he said in the video and through emails back and forth, that this is a rare wood in Australia. It's hard to obtain, and it's kind of almost like an endangered species along the lines of that. And he figured this is about the only chunk of wood he'll ever get from it. It was actually just a limb from the tree itself, so just a little branch. So he probably figured that's the only piece of it he'll ever get. And he made this beautiful little bowl from it. You can see some curl figure in it, beautiful red colors, and he gave that as bowl giveaway, and I'm lucky to want to get it. So it's going to my private collection. He also sent along another piece of that wood and made it into a really nice keychain. It kind of reminds me of what our red cedar here in the United States looks like. Now, he also sent actually a cool little piece of wood. I'm not sure what exactly to do with it yet. This is a little scrap wood of, it is known as sandalwood. It was once almost wiped out due to being pulled up and sent off for perfume use due to its lovely smell. Now he told me you can just take little slices off of this and you can smell the aroma to it, and it's supposed to smell really good. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this piece yet. I probably am going to make little slices of it off myself and turn it into keychains or something along the lines, a necklace possibly, and do a little wood burning design on it. But I sure appreciate it, bud. I told you I'd give you a shout out for your channel, and here I'm doing so. Now, this piece, I was in the shop not the other day, and I was planning on doing just about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit over a 1/4 inch groove, and I was planning on turning this into just a resin rim bowl. And the other day when I was in the shop, I looked at it and I decided to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a little bit of experiment. I'm going to make a yarn bowl. If you guys know what a yarn bowl, it's a bowl that people put their yarn in that has a hole to the side that they feed the yarn through, so the bowl keeps rolling, and it's easier for them to crochet and make craft stuff with. My girlfriend Felicia asked me to make her a yarn bowl, and so therefore I'm going to try to do this, but she gave me a bunch of scrap yarn, which I'm going to use to put clear resin and yarn inside of here, and hopefully turn it away and put a wood rim on top of it, so it actually be a yarn bowl with yarn in it. So stick with me, and I'll get you set up when I start doing the resin pour in here, and hopefully it turns out great. I don't have a pressure pot, so wish me luck. I don't get a big bunch of bubbles, but alrighty folks, it's time to do the pouring. I'm going to be trying out this new resin. It was gifted to me by my girlfriend for my birthday for a surprise. I've never used this brand before, but we're going to try it out, and you guys will see the results. It says it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's easy. For every 1 ounce you mix 1 ounce of hardener into it. So I already got my scale here. I'm going to do it by weight. It's going to be clear resin, and I already got my yarn that I'm going to mix up and put in there. It's all pretty colors and everything else. So I already got that set from the pile of yarn I got. I've got bags of it. And I'm going to mix a little side cup. It's going to have a little bit of the ink coloring of Forget-Me-Not, which is a blue. It's a pretty blue color. And I'm going to use some glow-in-the-dark light blue pigment in the little cup too. And try to use this little suction and then get it down in the resin and mix it in. Do like little waves and little streaks of possibly glow-in-the-dark colored resin in there also. So hopefully it turns out. Never did that before, so it's a little experiment. So stick with me and let's get this on the roll. I ended up pouring 6 ounces of A and 6 ounces of B, which as usual I always pour too much, but I had some other little molds that I poured it in, make some cool maybe future pieces. Alright, the resin looked like it degassed a little bit. I could not find my butane torch anywhere to try to burn off any of the excess bubbles, but I'm going to try to do it anyways. I do have this new UV resin, so if I do end up with any bigger bubbles or like that while I go clean and sand this off and do some of the finish work and finish turning inside of it and stuff, I can fix them with some of that UV resin. So let's get to pouring and get some of this yarn in here. It says I got 30 to 45 minutes of working time. Throughout the video, you'll see that I speed up some of the areas, just so you guys don't have to sit and watch 2-3 hours worth of video that I filmed, if not more. It's a long process doing all the editing, but I just put a little bit of resin in the bottom, and then just stuff in the yarn and around it, and then add a little bit more resin, a little bit more yarn, to try to get the right amount of yarn to resin ratio that I'll be satisfied with. Now I'm just adding a little bit of the blue tinted color and some of the glow-in-the-dark, which ended up not being quite strong as I liked, but it's a learning process. First I ever used it. Alrighty guys, as you can see, I already took kind of the mold thing off of this. I still got to clean up this hot glue. It's stuck to it, so I'm going to use my bowl gouge to do so. You guys can see or not, you can see the threads in there. And after further review, after this hardening up, I'm not too happy with how thick that is. Some of the mold somehow when it heated kind of bent inward, like right here. And so that's really thin compared to other parts of this mold, or compared to other parts of this rim. So I thought about cleaning this up with the bowl gouge. Taking a look under this and see what it looks like, and then possibly coming in to right here, cleaning this up and going inward and doing another pour to make this rim thicker. So stick with me and we'll see what we can do with this. Experiment's always fun. Here I'm just taking off the mold, the hot glue and stuff with my bowl gouge, which is, you know, it's always fun with the hot glue. It sticks to it, makes a mess, but it's part of the process. You can start to see some of the threads of the yarn being able to show through the clear resin, which I'm quite tickled with and happy with. Yeah, that left me with only not very much. So I think I'm going to try to, if I can, cut down on the inside of this resin. Hopefully not mess this all up. And pour this another coat of resin on the inside of this just to make this thicker. Because I'll reposition you guys here so you can see what I'm talking about. See if you guys can see what I'm talking about. It ended up being thinner than what I liked because that mold fluctuated a little bit too much. That's the reason why they call it experimenting. But anyhow, I do like that I could see the yarn threads in through there. That's pretty cool. And where I cut into some of the yarn, that's pretty cool. You can see the threads on it. So far I'm liking that. And these little bit of bubbles I have here, which I expected way more than this, so I'm pretty happy with that. There's a couple bubbles here. I could actually use some UV resin and fix those, and you probably wouldn't even see that they was even there. So see some bubbles underneath there, which you're going to have some, I guess, if they don't have a pressure pot. So let me get repositioned here, and I'll try our hand going inward here. Even if it's just part of the way down, it'll make me feel a lot better about this thickness, because I was going to add another wooden rim so it sits higher on top of this, and I'll glue that, epoxy that to this. So I don't want the whole thing to crumble once I start to do all that. So let me get repositioned here and we'll get back at it. Here I'm just whittling away a little bit of the center part of the bowl, making a little bit more room to possibly get down into, use my parting tool to cut the groove in alongside the resin rim that's already there. You can see light shining through. I'm almost down low enough. I'm afraid to go any lower. I might just clean that up and stop there and go ahead and pour that. I'll waste a little bit of resin right in through here, but I wanted to make sure that it's strong enough and secured enough, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me get it cleaned up. I was going to use a little bit of sandpaper, about 100 grit, just to try to clean up and smooth out the resin before I pour the next layer. Looks pretty cool though. So I think I'm going to stop there, definitely. I know it's not clear down at the bottom, but my chances are catching this shatter and then be ruined and start all over. So I'm going to stop there, use this as a dam, pour the clear resin in there. I don't know if I want to add any more yarn in there, but I believe that's what I'm going to do. And I also believe I'll bring you guys back once that gets poured. You already seen how to pour that, and you know what I'm going to do. So I'll bring you guys back once that gets poured and hardened up, and we'll get back to turning part of this out and putting the other. Alright, as you guys can see, I did my pour in here, and I decided to go ahead and put some more yarn in there. I just used some blue, black, and some red. Didn't go overboard. And I did add some lot more glow-in-the-dark color pigment in a little cup, and then swirled it in through there. I did check it out. It does work really good, and I'm excited. But you also can see, if you can see the yarn individually in there, and that's from doing the bubble patches with the UV resin, which it worked out really good too. So I'm going to get back to turning. I'm going to turn this away and then smooth this, and then possibly go and hollow this out, and then we'll find the board I want to put over top of this. Now glue onto here to make this a complete bowl resin, and then wood up here. So it'd be a cool little feature. Alright, let's get to it. Here I'm just turning back some of that UV resin I used to patch the bubbles with, which worked pretty good. I do love using UV resins first time I used it, and it's so convenient to have something that you could set up so quick with either UV light or sunlight. I'll be definitely using this here in the future for more projects. Now I'm just starting to hollow out the bowl itself. I'm not going to do the final hollowing out just yet. I'm just hollowing it out enough so I can get the wood rim onto the bowl. I'm just checking for flatness and sanding it back a little bit. Got the bowl prepped so far. Still got to hollow it out more, which I'm going to do. But I want to get this rim glued onto here, and then cut out, and then we'll do our finish doing this and the finish turning for the outside. I found this piece of red pine board that I had from a yard tree that I cut down, and I want the rim to be lightweight and not too top heavy, because this is only going to be a little bit lighter itself, and the base is going to be a little heavier. So I'm going to try to use this. I already cut it out in the bandsaw in a round circle, the traced from the bowl edge, and then I sand it with just 100 grit to flatten it off, make sure get a little marks in here for the glue to bite. I'm going to use 2-part 5-minute epoxy, and I got to go get that and get that prepped, and I'll bring you guys back when I get that ready to glue this on. Alrighty, let me adjust the light here. There, it's a little bit better. Use some 5-minute epoxy JB Weld. I'm going to put it on the rim. I'm going to actually need to move the tailstock support, so I'm going to use that to press against that. Move that for now. I love using this 2-part 5-minute epoxy. I use it on other projects and stuff, from walking stick repair to making my canes, but actually I mixed up enough resin, which is a miracle for this time. Even if it's 2-part epoxy, I got it pretty much right on the money. Now it's time to turn the rim back to match the bowl side, and turn the resin back a little bit and trying to get it all smoothed out before sanding. This is always a nerve-wracking part, trying to use your parting tool to cut into there. Always worried about a catch and ruining the project. Now I'm just using my carbide tools and my 5/8 inch bowl gouge to hollow it out. And there I'm using my handmade scraper, or homemade scraper, and it seems to work quite well also. Time for sanding. I sanded this project from 60 grit all the way up to 600 grit for a nice smooth finish. Now it's time to apply 2 coats of sanding sealer. I use Def Sanding Sealer, which I've had great luck with that. You can see some of the bubbles that's in it. I tried the UV resin to try to fix some of them, but there's some really small ones that didn't show up until the sanding process. and I didn't notice it, and I thought I tried to take air brush or the air compressor and blow it out, but it didn't blow out very good. So there's a couple on the inside, but I don't think it looks too bad for not having a pressure pot, and you can definitely see the yarn fibers and yarn and stuff in it, which is what I want. That orange one's kind of melted away into it, but the dark colors and stuff stayed. You can even see where I cut part of it away. You guys can see right there. It's kind of cool. Alright, let's just dry. We'll come back and I'll hit it with a light sanding and start applying the other finish. Here, after light sanding, I start applying the first of 3 coats of shellac based clear, and then I do the final sanding of it, and then I come back here in a minute and I'll use some of my DIY paste wax, which is, you know, beeswax and like a pumice and mineral oil. There it is, you can see it. And I've had really great luck with this kind of finish and applying this finish this way. Here a minute after I buff off this sanding paste, you'll see me apply some paste wax, and I really like doing this as a final little coat, and then you gotta let it dry on there until it gets kind of a dull finish. Then you come back and off and buff it in, and it makes a really nice shine and real nice protective finish on the bowls. Alright, time to pick the hole out. I'm just going to drill this out with a Forstner bit, and I do a little bit different than a traditional one. I just drill a straight hole in it. I don't do the upside down like question mark. And then I'll take a little strip of sandpaper and go in there and sand it smooth, and then I'll come back in and put some UV resin in there with my UV light, as you can see right there, and I'll go ahead and apply that in there with a toothpick, and it makes a real nice, smooth, durable finish in there so none of the yarn can catch on it. Well, that just about wraps it up. Please give me a comment and let me know how you guys think, and I hope you enjoyed.